Good morning. So here's Why Not assembled. We've been sailing last week, sailed quite a few days. I tested all the new stuff that I did to him. I'm not really happy. I'll explain why. So basically I went home 270 kilometers west and I brought back make or break. Now I'm going to disassemble everything and put it onto him. So this is what I've done. At the moment the mast is fixed. The mast is fixed further aft. So the CE is further aft. Like I said before, when the mast used to go to the end of the track, the yard, okay, let's call it the yard because that's the yard and this is the mast. So when the yard was on the end of the track and the sail was all the way forward, I would have to sit way forward and the boat was nose diving. Yeah, the problem is that the CE has to be further aft. So then this is what I'll do. Cleat it over here. And now my shunt is from here to here, bringing the CE about 50 centimeters aft and putting it just aft of midship. So you sit over there and you can use your ladder and everything's balanced. The boat works really well. The boat works really well once I move CE aft. The boat balances beautifully, actually works really nicely. The problem is shunting. I couldn't get it until it came to me. The boat won't shunt nicely because CE is aft of CLL. CLL is somewhere in the middle of the ship. CE is a little bit aft of that, little bit. So the boat heads up and it won't bail away easy. It won't bail away easy, preventing an easy shunt. The reason it won't bail away easy is the mast is on an angle like that. The angle of the mast is preventing the junk rig from flying open easy in your light winds, and it's holding the sail. It's holding because the yard is heavy and all the battens are heavy, so the sail stays a little bit closed. It won't open up all the way like it does when you extend everything forward. When you extend everything forward, it all straightens up, levels out, comes out nice, and then the sail will just open up beautifully, and then you can do an easy shunt. But over here, because of this angle is a result of a high lee pod. On the Havaya, actually I'm really happy with the way it worked, with how the boat balanced. What I didn't like was just the hard shunting that resulted. So I think I'm going to continue with this system, but I think it's got to have running legging, and over here there's no option for running legging because of the hatch and everything's over here. But imagine if there was a block over there and you had running legging coming on the Havaya 30, there's going to be two hatches on the sides and it's going to be open over here. So if I could have running legging from here to here, I could adjust, and if the lee pod was flat, then the mast wouldn't wonk off to the side like this. I'm going to release everything now and I'll show you how it works. Okay, so normal conditions, shunting goes from end to end. Pull on this, brings the mast over to the other end, works perfect. Now because the lee pod is high, when I put the mast in its new position, which is about here, it complicates things, and everything gets really loose. Back stays loose, shroud is loose. So what I did was, I've done a kind of a block and tackle system with Prusik knots. Prusik knots are amazing knots. They will slide up and down, but the minute they are under tension and the knot is broken to the side, it will never move. Okay, so at the moment everything's very loose because the yard is high. So we have to tighten up the stuff. So it starts off with pulling this. As I pull this, the shroud tensions and the yard is now airborne. Now I will cleat this off. I'm working one hand and camera, so it's a little bit harder, but anyway. Now it's cleated. So that's shroud is done. You don't mess with it anymore. You leave your shroud at that position when this is airborne. Okay? So first thing you do would be cleat this over here. Once that's cleated there, that's the end. Now it's airborne because that's tension. Now to bring it down and make it stable, and I will pull this. That's a Prusik knot. Again, a tackle system. A good pull over here brings everything down over there. Once tight and cleated, master's fixed. Then another pull over here on the endless line, and cleated, fixes it in place. The angle is not as, the fact that it's leaning forward is good for junk rigs, that helps, but it's the side angle that's not good, and prevents the rig to open up. It's almost perfect. It actually works really nicely, but it's just not good enough. On a flat LEE pod it will work much better, and with running rigging for this, I'll get things to work really nicely. So I'll have to play with models and see how, maybe the LEE pod might even have a slight concave, I don't know, we'll think about that later on. But the boat balances beautifully. Now CE would be somewhere over here, aft midship, and you sit over here and you sail beautifully. That's the other side, does the same job. The pull over here tensions it, but it's the backstay now, so we don't do that. And then here's the leather itself. The leather works well. I should have extended the blade up to here, because it makes a very big ugly wave as it's cutting the water at water level. I don't like that. It slows the boat, and basically it's this thing goes into here, and the shaft pivots over here. Works nicely, works really well. Here's my AD scow. There's make or break. Today we're going to take the boat to pieces, and I'm going to rig up make or break. I want to sail him. This boat, there's no volume. There's no volume on the bow. I mean, this boat is fast. This boat is fast for single sailor. But two sailors with luggage, it gets, with gear and stuff, it gets so heavy. It goes down so deep in the water that it loses all its speed. And Michael Blake is faster. He's much wider, and that slows him down. But he can still take a lot of gear on him, and he works out to be faster once loaded. In this, why not? He's those fine bows. Those fine bows really dive. I filled this thing with 20 liters yesterday. No, it was 3 days ago. Huge waves, really big swell was coming in, and we headed out. And at one moment I noticed that the bows just can't come up out of the waves anymore. Just can't come up. It was like diving through the wave, and then after the 20th wave it was struggling to come up. We came back in. I bailed out 20 liters of water. Yes, you can put on better hatches, but you might as well put on a better bow. I really like the bows over here. Michael Blake is a real, he can take big seas. His bows are, this is a totally different story. A lot of volume and flare. A lot of flare and raked aft. This is a Polynesian recipe. And these bows don't dive. This boy really goes up. And then, like I said, once loaded, he's faster than this. Empty, why not? It's faster. Loaded, with two aboard, make or break is faster. So all this comes down today, and it all goes on to him, and we go cruising. It was a lot of testing. He has the Plusek system from close. Plusek knots are amazing, real good knots. I use them for when I'm working, when I'm securing myself to a roof, to a dangerous place. I use Pluseks all the time. Beautiful knot. He has the stuff that I put on over here to hold. This is a new piece of wood. I put it on to take the new leather. Like I said, the blade should have been longer. Very big wave at water level as the water's cutting over the pipe. Very big wave, ugly noisy wave. If the blade was higher, then the water would go finer around it, and it would be less wave, and I'd lose less speed. So that, yes, that can be fixed. My mistake. Otherwise, yeah, concept works, but it's just the angle. It's just this angle of mast. I mean, the mast is just tilted over like this because of the high lee pod and the tensioned shroud. Tension on the shroud, high lee pod, and this weird angle is preventing the junk in light winds from flying open and letting you shunt easy. And it's just a very hard shunt. He points up high into the wind, and he won't bail away so easy. And once you're sailing, I mean, and everything's okay, it works, and it's really balanced, and it's faster, and it's much better. Yes, okay, good principle. Something I'm going to try and use on the Havaya. I'll have to build a model and see how it works. Anyway, guys, today's a big day. We're going to disassemble this, assemble that. Got stuff to change. I'm going to get going on it. Take care, guys. Balkan Shipyards, cruising next. All the best. Why not? Make or break. Port Sullivan. Lumpy Black Sea sailing. Hard on the wind. Force 4. And the bows are going through everything. Hoppa.